Part of what is resonating with Americans about Gavin Newsom's approach over the last several months is that he's doing two critically important things. Number one, from a tone perspective, he's willing to fight. He's willing to fight Trump. He's willing to go after these people in the way that they deserve to be gone after. And the other thing that I like about what Newsom is doing is that he is accurately explaining the stakes. Now, Newsom appeared on the Stephen Colbert show last night, and he said he's afraid there will not be an election in 2028. He says this is the code red moment. Now, whether his personal aspirations are to be a candidate in the 2028 election, we don't know, sort of increasingly pointing in that direction. Whether he has other plans, I mean, we're going to have to wait to find out. But part of what I think he is doing right is that it is hard to think about too many other elected officials in the Democratic Party at his level right now who are speaking with this strength and directness. And that I appreciate. Take a listen.
We are struggling to communicate. We're struggling to win back now the majority in the House of Representatives. And that's a big part of what I'm doing, not just today in terms of the work out here, raising money, but also raising awareness around how Donald Trump is trying to rig the midterm elections and how I fear that we will not have an election in 2028. I really mean that. And the core of my soul, unless we wake up to the code red, what's happening in this country, and we wake up soberly to how serious this moment is.
Now, listen, I disagree with Newsom in that I do believe we will have an election in 2028. The question is, will the circumstances of that election lead to a result that properly and accurately reflects the will of the American people? Will everyone who would like to have voted have been able to vote and have their vote counted or not? And that doesn't mean that it's like election machine manipulation or anything like that. It just means, do the circumstances of this country, does the clampdown on speech, does the punishment of people in the media, will all of that dissuade certain people from even going to vote because they are terrified? Now, Newsom went on, one more clip I want to play, where he was critical of the Democratic Party. And this is another thing that I think Newsom is doing right. I think there are lots of people in the Democratic Party that are complete and total duds right now. And I spoke about it yesterday and I spoke about it last week, and I've been ringing alarm bells every opportunity I get. I think there are a bunch of people that make up this deep bench that is strong, very strong. You know, not only is it Gavin Newsom, it's Josh Shapiro, it's Gretchen Whitmer, it's AOC, there's a whole bunch of people. One of the things Newsom is including in his critique of the state of affairs, in his demand, his desire for something other than the status quo, is a criticism of the Democratic Party. Listen to this.
Why do you think it so deeply resonates with people? Why do you think this has made such a difference? I mean, you're glad it is, but what do you think people are responding to?
Just the fight. I think, you know, this is a tough time.
I'm aware.
But a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of folks that honestly just don't know we're going to get our country back. And I get it. This guy is flooding the zone. He's dominating the narratives. Facts don't seem to matter. Mm-hmm. And Democrats, frankly, have had a difficult time pushing back. And Democrats feel that, you know, times there's sort of this weakness that dominates our brand and our party. And I think what people appreciate is that we're willing to fight, and not only fight symbolically by having a little bit fun, but fight substantively. We have 41 lawsuits against this son of a bitch. We're pushing back and we're winning. And we're filling a void on a lot of issues. I'm out here for Climate Week. California is the tentpole in terms of climate policy in this country. As he walks away from Paris, he walks away from leadership, moral authority around the rest of the world. California's trying to assert itself on health policy. Same thing. We created this West Coast Collaborative. We're not going to listen to this guy. We're not going to listen to him trying to pronounce acetaminophen, or we're not going to sit there. Listen.
Now, sadly, Newsom mispronounced it. He, instead of acetaminophen, he pronounced it acetaminophen. Put that aside for a second, okay? Right, when you mispronounce the thing, you're criticizing someone else for mispronouncing. And actually, let me just make sure I heard that correctly.
We created this West Coast Collaborative. We're not going to listen to this guy. We're not going to listen to him trying to pronounce acetaminophen.
Yeah, he mispronounced it, unfortunately. But listen, o- overall, Newsom is admitting Democrats have been weak in how they communicate. That's a rare acknowledgement, and it's a blunt acknowledgement. And I like his emphasis on we need to fight substantively and we need to fight symbolically. That could be taken as a critique of the Biden style, certainly a critique of the broader Democratic status quo. And one of the things we've learned from history is that collapses of democracy often are preceded by too many people saying, this can't really happen here. We don't need to worry. I like that Gavin Newsom is cutting against that denial. And Plato warned that democracies collapse into tyranny when citizens stop believing the system is working. And Newsom is warning in that vein that that's the direction that we may be going. We're going to take a very quick break. I'll have more about this on my Substack, which you can find at substack.davidpakman.com.